Before we start the video, I just want to put a disclaimer in that if your camera is broken, you should always seek out a professional service from Red or any manufacturer. For me, this was just a weekend project as I was bored and I had nothing to do and I had nothing to lose. So again, always seek out professional repairs if you have a problem with your camera. One night I was browsing eBay and then I came across an interesting listing, a 6K Komodo that was faulty, and I saw the bids were going up like crazy, so I decided to jump in, and what do you know, I won. £700. After I won, I started to look through the seller's other listings, and the info was that he bought them in a job lot and they were all faulty. The helium had a broken sensor and wasn't working at all, but the Komodo was working fine. He put a lens on and said he got an image. So I thought, okay, that sounds good. The runtime was only 171 hours, and that is nothing in this game. The camera's practically unused. I waited a few days and the camera got delivered. I was so excited to open it at this point because I didn't really need a camera, but I thought that this could be a fun project just to take apart and see what I could do if I could fix it. And here we have the 6K faulty Red Komodo. Welcome to my non-Red approved repair. So looking over the camera body, it actually looks in really good condition and no scratches. Well, there was a few scratches, but no big dents or gashes. And this was indicative of the 171 hours used. You could tell it hadn't seen much use at all. So what was actually wrong with the camera? It was the sensor. We have got sensor damage, probably the worst place to get damage as well. I didn't know what this was, but it looks like to me it was just on the front glass, the filter. It could be water, that means the whole camera could have water damage. It could be really bad inside. You know, you just don't know until you open these things. So looking around on the internet trying to gather information on the filter and the sensor, I couldn't find much, but then I started to come across people that had taken out their filters because of a thing called delamination. Now, delamination is when your filter or sensor starts to separate. The glass that sandwiches them together, they come apart. Once that happens, there's nothing you can do, but you have to send it to Red to get fixed. Checking on Google, the AI told me that the sensor and the OLPF filter was bonded together, but this can't be true because I've seen posts where people have taken it out. Nonetheless, I thought I would jump on the internet, contact Red and see how much a repair is going to cost me. I also contacted some other high-profile repair houses as well, all over Europe. So now I'd fired off the emails, I just had to sit back and wait, and wait, and wait. After a few days, the replies started to come back in and everybody told me that they can't fix it or they don't work on those cameras, and Wex told me that Red probably won't even repair it because they don't make this camera anymore, it's discontinued. I finally got an email back from Red and yeah, the prices were kind of high. $690 for the OLPF and $1,395 for a complete sensor change, and that's not including duties and taxes. Although that's a good price, I've got history in building custom cameras, so let me just try this myself. So I started taking the camera apart, which actually was very simple. They built this camera very modular, barely any ribbons inside. Once I'd got it open, I looked at the circuit boards. There was no water or traces or any liquid damage at all, and that's a really promising sign. Taking out the sensor block, this is when things started to get interesting. And I'm sorry to say that this is where all the drama, the excitement and the thrill of the repair disappears. I realised that someone had been overzealous with the liquid cleaning of the sensor. They've poured in too much and a little bit has gone behind and stuck to the rear of the OLPF filter only, nowhere else. I'm not sure how it's done that because it's quite airtight, but that's my reasoning on why the stain is still there, because no air was getting in there and it couldn't dry properly. I suspect this has happened quite recently. Now it was time to take out the OLPF, and that was very easy. I just got a sharp object and removed the protruding part of this bump using these little black holes at the top, going all around it very gently, and was able to lift off the front of this cover. Once I took that off, the OLPF filter came straight out, and as I thought, it was just liquid cleaning fluid, So once I'd cleaned that away and dried it was all done. Because I couldn't find a sensor anywhere, I did need to have a plan B, and I didn't want to get a cheap China filter and get it cut because it's not worth it. So I bought this old DSMC2 filter which covers Super 35 because I thought that this must fit. They couldn't have changed their design that much on Super 35 cameras. So I bought one. Thankfully I managed to get one in UK for £80 because although that they're cheap in US, in the UK they're still quite expensive. Looking at the filter, we can see it's a very good quality glass. It's slightly more magenta than the original Komodo, but this would work nicely. So after I did a quick few measurements, nothing scientific, I realised that this is definitely going to work if you need a replacement. You can see that it's slightly magenta, and the Komodo, which I'm holding on the left, is slightly more green. But again, a little colour shift is not going to matter, it's all about the quality. The great thing is the size, and they're easy to remove. Just get your sharp tool, loosen up the edges and then pull off the cap. Be very careful because the plastic cap on the Komodo is quite brittle. And once you've done that, just flip it over and then you've got your OLPF filter. The DSMC2 filter is a bit thinner than the Komodo, so you might want to save this gasket from the DSMC2 filter. And you can save this for the Komodo. Or you could easily print one in 5 minutes. I don't really need this filter anymore, but I'm not going to send it back. If I do suffer from delamination in the future, at least I have a spare and it only cost me £60. So now it was time to start putting the camera back together, and it was as easy as taking it apart. Once it was back together, I want to clean some of the scratches, and I'm going to use this Birchwood Casey's Aluminium Black. This stuff affects aluminium by oxidizing it, so you just wipe it on, and what it will do is it will turn any aluminium it comes into contact with black. Now in this case it's not going to be perfect black, but it will do enough to hide the scratches. I might just put a bit of black paint on this one just to cover it up. I'm putting a longer aerial because I don't have a shorter stubby one, but that's okay. I also want to clean up the white parts because they are a bit brown and grubby. So I've just got some Cif bathroom cleaner and I'm just wiping these white parts to get them nice and white again. And lastly, I have my sponge here which I use to polish black items. So I use this on cameras and my car dashboard, all sorts of stuff. So that's it, and here we have the working Red Komodo. The OLPF filter is fully cleaned, we've got nothing wrong with it at all. Now I don't know what I'm going to do with this camera, to be honest. I was fully set on having a second ZR because I love the autofocus, the size of the camera, I can rig it up or strip it down and it's absolutely amazing. But now I've had the chance to play with the Komodo, it's been about 4 years since I touched one, I'm absolutely loving the image quality. It slightly pips the ZR in terms of dynamic range and clarity, and I'm actually starting to love it. I've got to figure out where I go next in terms of accessories because accessories are still quite expensive and I expect to spend about £500 to £600 just to get this thing up and running. But because I bought the camera for £700, it's still probably the cheapest Komodo out there on the market that's fully working with such low hours. I have a lot of equipment that works well with the Komodo and it's actually been a blast just to get some of this stuff up and running. I've always talked about the Axune M7 Pro and how it is the best monitor out there, and I'm using the Red Control app which I sideloaded onto the monitor, so now I have full access to the Red Control system, but I can also use SDI and use it as a normal monitor. The last thing I want to say is, Red, you are absolutely amazing in the way you constructed this camera. Although a repair with you guys didn't work out for me, I love the way you put this together, and this is design excellence. Thanks guys for watching, take care, and I will see you on the next one. Later.